We don't ask people's immigration status. So if ICE comes up to us and says, I want to know who that person is, I want to know their documentation, we say, we don't tell you, and we don't know. We're erasing, thanks to these guys here at ACLU, hundreds of thousands of drug-related convictions. So that is just erased. That's gone. That's not sitting on somebody's record. When it comes to Medicaid and some of these other programs, we're trying to put up a wall, HIPAA and other ways, so we don't have to share any of that information. If there's a federal court order, it makes it a little more complicated for a governor, but we're doing everything we can within the law to keep you safe. 500 plus people working directly on the docks and thousands more broadly. We're close to the finish line, and 4 days before Labor Day, they said, stop work order, fired. They told me that was not gonna happen. And the people I talked to said, we didn't know it was gonna happen, it comes out of the White House. Anyway, we brought suit, Orsted, the developer, brought suit. We won that overwhelmingly. I don't want to yell and crow about it a lot because there's always a chance of an appeal or something like that. But right now, people are working every day to get that done. So those are just 3 examples of the types of additional energy we're coming in. That's all carbon free. I don't know where this crowd stands on nuclear power, but I can tell you that Millstone Nuclear Power is about 80%, 90% of our carbon free power, and they're looking to have an expansion or at least an extension of what they're doing there as well. I think that's a good piece of what our energy future is going to look like. The proposed piece was BS. I never made any reference to Mondami in that case. The effects of look, I'll tell you, you know what he wants to do? He wants to have universal early childhood education for everybody. Something that we're already doing right now. I know what he means in terms of affordability. I know what he means in terms of, excuse me?
People cannot be, the eligibility cuts out many people in the middle class, and
really can't call it universal.
It doesn't feel like it's universal, especially if you're down here in Fairfield County where none of us, even people struggling to get by, meet those eligibility requirements. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, over 100,000 to 200 some, it's no more than 7.5%, so it's still a significant savings, but it's not free for people earning over 100,000. What was the rest of your question?
Oh, no, I'm just curious. I love it here, by the way. I'm very happy to be here. No, just a lot of people saying that they're going to leave the city. Like, are people going to come here? Businesses going to come here? I'm just curious, just your overall thoughts, because it could be what you hear in the news.
2 things. I mean, we had 50,000 folks about your age, young families, move out of New York City to Connecticut in and around after COVID. Our schools are more likely to be open, and it was a better life. We are part of the New York City ecosystems. I'm not sitting here with bitter competition and saying, boy, I hope they fail so everybody comes to Connecticut. Their success is our success and vice versa. That's what I was trying to say in that meeting. There are some people who are worried, no question about it. A lot of them are knocking on our door, but I wish nothing but the best for New York City.
I appreciate that.
I don't know what relationship UConn has with Avello. It's independent airlines. We don't subsidize them in any way. They do 40 flights, 40 different destinations out of Tweed. Mm-hmm. Some of the legislature said shut them down and shut down Tweed Airport. I don't think we have not done that. We've expressed our concern and outrage about what they're doing. But we don't subsidize them. They don't get any extra support from us. I heard that just through the act of intimidation, he's going to scare a lot of people who say, why do I bother to vote? They're going to have folks there. We're going the exact opposite with Stephanie Thomas, our Secretary of State. He's trying to make it tougher for people to vote. We're trying to make it easier for people to vote. We have early voting. We have absentee balloting. We're making sure that people can easily get the absentee ballot, doing everything he can to make it easier for you to vote. I'm terrified that less that he's going to, not have the next election, but he's going to intimidate and scare people away. These are the very people I want to vote. I want them to have a stake in the election. I think if we've learned anything, you can't sit on your butt during an election like this. Look what happened in 2024. A lot of people said, I like Kamala, but not enough to get off the couch. We're paying a price for it. We're going to be paying a price for the next 2 years.
You discount the fact that the military could just invalidate all of that if they chose to.
I don't discount anything. Every day I'm shocked in a negative way by what's going on. So I worry more about the intimidation, but we're saying the same thing.
But is there a way that the state can protect the votes from the federal government seizing them and them taking the votes and interpreting them rather than letting our state interpret our own votes.
I
Is
think
there
so.
any-
You saw what happened in 2024. A guy named Rasberger, was that his name? The Secretary of State down in Georgia. You know, Trump said, hey, get me 8,000 votes so I can steal the election. In 2020, he said that's not going to happen. 2020, thank you.
You are running again, what is it that you're going to do in your next term that you haven't done in the past 8 years that is going to get people energized and excited about supporting you? Because right now, I think a lot of people are not there yet. And I think the polling showed that recently, that while there's certainly some support for a third term, that support seems to be a little bit weak.
Well. Look, 8 years ago, the state was almost bankrupt. 8 years ago, we were lurching from deficit to deficit. Our not-for-profits hadn't gotten a raise. Our state employees hadn't gotten a raise in many years. Young people were leaving the state. I think we've made progress. But that's not good enough. What do we do going forward? I can tell you that I'm going to double down on our cities. I'm going to make sure that we have, our cities were 40–50% bigger 50 years ago. Then they shrunk. And a lot of people left. All the cool kids went down to the Lower West Side or wherever they went. And now people are coming back. You know, this guy came back, that guy came back. And I've got to make sure there's a place for them to live. So we're going to double down in terms of transit-oriented development in our major cities. Right now, we have tens of thousands of more people living in New Haven and Bridgeport and even Stamford than we had before. And that's going to make an enormous difference. I got to bring down costs. I told this lady what we're trying to do to bring down costs in education. I'm working like hell to bring down the price of electricity, because electricity is a horrible fixed cost on people, especially those with senior who can't afford to pay that extra premium. I got to do something on healthcare. You know, I believe in a Connecticut option. I'm going to make sure, if I can, with your support, because I'm going to need your support, because the hospitals have a lot of power in the legislature, to make sure that we have a universal system where everybody can buy into healthcare at a reasonable price. And it's going to involve working very closely with the hospitals with a lot of pressure to hold down those costs, because that's what needing us alive. And you may not like the fact that I don't shout and get as angry at Donald Trump as you'd like me to, but I think we made more of a difference in pushing back on him than just about any state in the country. We have fewer of our folks being deported. We have more of our kids going to school. We have more of our folks feeling safe going to hospitals. But I can't sit on that, because tomorrow that son of a bitch could do something and change the world. But right now, I kind of like where the state is right now, protecting our people and protecting Connecticut values. I think this state represents the very best of American values. I think this is a state that cherishes diversity, regardless of background, regardless of income, regardless of immigration status. We love the fact that you call Connecticut home. And we're doing everything we can to make this a place where you feel safe and your kids feel safe, and this is a place of opportunity for everybody. That's why I like what I'm doing. Thanks, everybody.